Outside of neighbors, name a wide receiver.
Victor Cruz.
Stop it.
He's got to be still on there. Sterling Shepard.
All right, Mike, we're staying on the theme of the NFL this week. We're talking ESPN a couple days ago put out their off-season grades for how teams did in the off-season with the off-season moves. Now, overall, the highest grade went to Philadelphia. I gotta say, I have a huge problem with this. I don't think that anywhere close to saying that they had the best, highest graded off-season moves. I just don't agree with that. And then on the flip side, Oakland and the Saints have the two lowest. I still have a huge problem with that too, because I can think of two other teams that made worse moves than that. Some other notable ones in here, ESPN only gave the Bears a B. A B?
You just love the Bears.
What they did in the offseason, there's only a couple other things they could have done that would have been absolute perfection. I think they have to get an A, if not an A+, and set the standard, even though they had the most opportunity. Do you get what I'm saying? But how is the Atlanta Falcons not the worst graded team in the offseason moves?
I'm going to say with the Atlanta Falcons, I can't comprehend how this isn't like an F. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
What you've done is guaranteed a ton of money to a quarterback who has done nothing throughout his career to deserve that kind of money.
Well, didn't they also
they
got into trouble for tampering with doing that too?
Yeah, there's tampering issues. And then you choose a quarterback with your first-round pick who, given the competing time frames, if you're going to play out the quarterback contract that you guaranteed a bunch of money to, your draft pick is going to be 30 by the time he could be a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Somehow make it make sense. Now, what I will say is this, Dirk. I don't have as much of a problem with Philly being at the top of this as you do, because I don't have as much of a problem with Philly being number one on this list, because I will say Saquon Barkley's ceiling is preposterously high. I think there's a chance we're going to find out just how abysmal the Giants' offensive line and general personnel have been throughout Barkley's career.
I still got questions about Philly's offensive line. You have a huge hole in Kelsey retiring.
You do, but you still have some good pieces. You know, they still have good pieces on that offensive line, and they also have a ton of other weapons and a quarterback who presents a running threat. And I'm not going to say Daniel Jones doesn't, but let's say Daniel Jones doesn't present much of a passing threat, which is what the quarterback inevitably has to do.
There's another good team that I left off that. I mean, not only that, they had their best receiver, who's the tight end, retire on him at age 31.
Yeah,
and he's making music videos about his divorce rather than being in season. I mean, they had a lot of problems with this, but how did you not foresee this? I mean, name outside of neighbors, name a wide receiver.
Victor Cruz.
Stop it.
He's got to be still on there. Sterling Shepard. No, it's
Ted Cruz.
Yes. Ted Cruz has been signed by the New York Giants. He will be playing tackle. No, Dirk. It's I just think you really could. Now, this could come back to haunt me if he goes down in like week 2, which has happened. I still really believe you could see Barkley turn in a 2,500-yard scrimmage season, Hall of Fame caliber, season. He has a lot of ground to make up to become a Hall of Fame caliber back because he's had so many injuries over the course of his career. But I still think with the right personnel, Barkley might be the best overall running back in football.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
All right, and then also I'm going to say, if you're going to say the team that probably did the best in the offseason, it's got to be the Houston Texans. I think we're going to look back on this and be like, all the offseason moves they had on top of the year before, I mean, they had basically perfection in the draft in the previous year. And then this year, they sign, a new running back all the way from Cincinnati who held up the Bengals. Then you also have the likes of Stephon Diggs who comes in, and they were able to restructure his deal to a single year.
Yeah.
I mean, the risk on that's super low, and the ceiling could only be astronomically high. They also extended, Nico Collins' contract?
Right.
I mean, they have all the makings and all the hallmarks of a team that could really go over the top and really, really accomplish this year.
The only thing about Diggs, Dirk, I will say, and I mean it may or may not be fair, is that he has the track record of not being a great locker room person. we'll see how it plays out. What you could have, in theory, done if you're the Texans to change this up is go after a veteran like Keenan Allen, which your Bears did.
Yep.
I feel as though Allen could have been a kind of guy who you don't really run the same risks with Diggs, but the explosiveness for Diggs is off the charts, and you saw what he did for Josh Allen. It'll be interesting to see how that translates. The only thing you could possibly knock the Texans on otherwise is that they didn't get Barkley. He wasn't, they didn't get their first choice. Yeah, had some solid Taco John's product placement. Anyway, NFL offseason grades. The Broncos, not on the radar because we don't know what's happened there.
They got a B, by the way.
Yeah, well,
they got a B.
B is for bananas.